Right now, today at 5, there are new developments in a federal lawsuit about the repeated use of force by Louisville Metro Police and intimidation against peaceful protests. This goes back to the summer of 2020 when huge crowds of people were protesting the killing of Breonna Taylor. Hello, everybody. It's our top story. I'm Doug Proffitt.
And I'm Shay McAllister. The complaint filed by the ACLU in July of 2020 specifically challenges the use of tear gas and other crowd control measures.
Now, a hearing's been underway in federal court today looking to address the ACLU's motion to make this a class action lawsuit.
WHAS11's Connor Steffen and photojournalist Elijah McKenzie are live now at the courthouse. Connor, the hearing addressed a variety of issues on both sides.
Right, Chase. So not only is the ACLU looking to make this a class action lawsuit, but both legal teams argued a slew of issues during this hearing, including if this case should even be heard anymore. A case inches forward nearly 4 years after the ACLU of Kentucky filed it against LMPD.
To make sure that crowd control weaponry is not used in an indiscriminate fashion on protesters in future protests.
The ACLU complaint specifically mentions people who were blocking bridges and roadways in June and July of 2020. And the mass arrests and felony charges that followed. During a wide-ranging hearing in federal court, the ACLU looked to make the case a class action lawsuit, but the judge gave no definitive ruling on the motion.
I think he said he would anticipate a ruling fairly soon. There are some other discovery issues that we're addressing right now.
The defense also looked to address if the case should even be heard, arguing LMPD has put policies in place since the protests addressing concerns about use of force to silence peaceful protesters. The ACLU argues there's still room to tweak policies to ensure future protesters' constitutional rights aren't violated.
Even under the current policy, people who may be out peacefully protesting still could be subject to what literally is indiscriminate crowd control weaponry.
There's been no decision on that motion either. The ACLU also spoke to the timeliness of this hearing. Just Monday, city officials and the DOJ met to go over a first draft of a consent decree.
We hope that overall the LMPD will agree to whatever reforms DOJ believes is necessary to get into line with the Constitution and live up to their promises to protect the people of Louisville.
They see this lawsuit as yet another way to ensure Louisvillians' constitutional rights going forward, much like the consent decree.
People should be demanding that the LMPD institute significant reforms and agree to significant changes in policies and procedures to make people feel safe both when they're protesting and just in general.
In Louisville, Connor Steffen, WHAS 11 on your side. Now, as we are talking again about the hearing today, the judge made no definitive decisions on any of the motions presented in court today, though we are expecting an update sometime next week. We're live in Louisville. Connor Steffen, WHAS 11 on your side.
Connor, thank you very much. More local news for you today at 5. A grand jury indicted a man today accused of driving drunk and causing a crash that killed the wife of a Louisville Metro Police Officer. Police say Arundita Lane died in a crash on Taylorsville Lake Road last month in Far East End. Their 14-year-old daughter was also hurt, but is expected to make a full recovery. Now, Adam Todd Sanders is indicted, charged with murder and driving under the influence in this crash. Police believe he hit the Lane's car head on. He was arrested today at his home in Oldham County. He's being held on a bond currently of $250,000, but he only needs to post $25,000 of that to go free. Also indicted today, the former Louisville Catholic school teacher accused of possessing and distributing child pornography. 39-year-old Jordan Fouts was arrested earlier this month after investigators say he manipulated children's yearbook photos into child pornography. He was a religion teacher at St. Stephen Martyr Catholic School when police say he shared the child sexual abuse materials with undercover officers. He's now been indicted on 2 federal charges, distribution and possession of child pornography. Fouts is expected to be arraigned in federal court next week.
Now to a scary situation for employees at the Norton Hospital as an employee shuttle bus caught fire this afternoon. Take a look at this, a massive plume of dark smoke right there near the hospital in the Audubon neighborhood. Jen Jewell, an employee at the Norton Medical Arts Center, shared this video with us, saying a Miller transportation bus caught fire right around noon today. 2 cars surrounding the bus did get damaged in the fire, while the Norton Audubon Hospital parking garage is under construction. We're told employees have been shuttled back and forth from a farther location for parking. Norton tells us thankfully nobody was hurt. And there was yet another house fire in Louisville this morning, this time in the Shelby Park neighborhood. We're told the call came in around 5:15 from East Kentucky Street. It was reporting smoke in the back of the house. Well, as of right now, no rescues or injuries have been reported in that case.
And we have an update on the massive fire that destroyed a 9-year-old Nulu apartment building near downtown Louisville. Donovan Sims with the Louisville Fire Department tells us the 310 at Nulu building is still under a fire watch by fire crews, remaining on the scene and watching it closely for any continued flare-ups. The building is under an emergency demolition order at the moment for fear of collapse. It's going to be up to the city to approve the schedule for that demolition. It has not started yet. Right now, the city is working to contact the property owner to ensure a demolition company is hired, but demolition will not be performed until the fire and insurance investigations are also finished in this case.
More local news right here at 5 o'clock. Underserved and overburdened by pollution. That's how the federal government now describes nearly a quarter of Louisville.
Excuse me. Don't you go ahead and finish.
To address the inequity, the EPA awarded Louisville $1.5 million for environmental justice. Ian Hardwick, photojournalist Emma Gefter report on where that money's going.
$1 million, that's what the EPA is giving Louisville's Air Pollution Control District to investigate toxic pollutants in Rubbertown. Some of that money is going to go towards air monitoring sites like this one on Algonquin Parkway. The study comes nearly 20 years after the APCD reduced chemical air emissions in the area by about 80%.
That is a miracle as far as I'm concerned. But the most important thing is that this was inspired by the community.
Arnita Gadsden's community, the West Jefferson County Community Task Force, pushed for a similar study in 2000. The new EPA-funded study compares those original numbers to updated counts and expands APCD's testing capacity to wastewater.
With that, we'll be able to determine policy changes that may or may not be necessary with our program.
The APCD's program is called STAR for Strategic Toxic Air Reduction. However, despite the EPA measuring massive declines in chemicals like arsenic, chloroform, and formaldehyde, West End cancer death rates are double that of the East End. That's according to the Louisville Department of Public Health. Addressing those disparities are why the money comes to Louisville.
To make sure that those funds go to communities that have been underserved and disadvantaged in the past, and to make sure that they are addressing issues that change the future of those communities.
This study also provides information to healthcare providers for diagnosing and treating patients impacted by industrial chemicals. The EPA also awarded $500,000 to the Parks Alliance of Louisville for Alberta Jones Park. It's for a park community council, a superintendent working for that council, and an equity study figuring out what the best use is for the area. One idea came from nearby chef and member of that council, Anitra Beatty.
And we're going to put in fresh food in that dirt over there and that whole land over there, the urban ag space. It's going to be amazing.
U of L will conduct a study too, determining the green space's impact on health in the California neighborhood. In Louisville, Ian Hardwick, WHAS11, on your side.
Well, the Air Pollution Control District is also working on specific equipment to monitor sewer gas. It's already installed at the Algonquin Parkway monitor, but it still needs calibration to meet the EPA guidelines.
Testing of handheld monitors for the sewer smells is underway right now, too.
Those warm winds are stirring things up. I guess I could blame the maybe early allergies for a coughing fit here, Shay.
I think it's
look
fair,
at that
Doug.
out there. It's beautiful.
And you can tell when the weather starts to get warmer like this, Colleen, you've got to anticipate some sort of something in the air.
Yeah, you're not the only one. In fact, we're expecting allergies to be in the medium range today and tomorrow. So you're not the only ones out there. We are going to have a little bit of a cool down with a front passing through late night Thursday, which will bring some thunderstorms into our forecast throughout the day tomorrow. So you can already see that live view over downtown Louisville. Those clouds are starting to build. I think it's going to be a toss-up of our sunset. It might get a little bit too cloudy to see it, but if those clouds stay the same, we'll have some vibrant red and orange colors here in just about an hour. We're just going to have to wait to see how much those clouds build. 67, in fact, we were just at 69. Almost 70 degrees. And actually, the normal 70-degree day is around February 24th. So that's kind of on par with the weather that we're seeing here. But typically, we usually stay in the 50s this time of year. but that sun angle is now at 41 degrees. This is something your app will not tell you. So we're starting to feel warmer outside. You'll start to feel those sun rays, and it's actually the same around October 21st right now with that sun angle. So we're definitely starting to feel warm outside. Tomorrow, not going to feel warm, even though temperatures in the upper 50s. We are going to track some thunderstorms throughout the afternoon, waking up to a few scattered sprinkles, but as we head throughout the afternoon, that's when it's going to ramp up. Thankfully, we're not expecting anything strong, but we could see a few downpours, some lightning, and some isolated strong wind gusts throughout the afternoon and evening. I'll time it out, talk more about our impacts for the end of your week coming up. Doug, Shay.
Colleen, thank you very much. Well, a strike at the Kentucky truck plant has been avoided thanks to an agreement between the UAW union and Ford.
The big plant in eastern Jefferson County is the Ford Motor Company's most profitable operation. Local 862 President Todd Dunn confirming a tentative agreement was reached this morning, impacting 9,000 workers. The plant accounts for about $25 billion in annual revenue for Ford alone. Town halls are in the works for early next week, with the hope of a vote starting Wednesday morning and lasting through Friday night next week. Dunn says the union was confident they could come to an agreement with Ford.
We felt very positive about the outcome, so none of our membership was alarmed. You didn't see me going to the mayor or going to the governor saying, look, I'm telling my people to prepare. You know, there could be some issues. We might need some help with unemployment. None of that ever happened. That's how confident we were that we could close the agreement out.
Ford also released a statement today saying they're very pleased to have reached a tentative agreement on a new labor contract covering the Kentucky truck plant and its 8,700 valued UAW Ford employees.